Hi folks, Wednesday the 5th of October. I've had a half day today and I've done a little bit of work down on the allotment. I've collected another load of hops, spent hops, from a local brewery. I'd already got about 6 or 8 bags and I've just collected another 6, and the fruit cage has been weeded and had another 8 sacks put on top. As you can see, everything's looking nice and neat in here now. Excuse my shadow. Still a few weeds around the edge there, but 99% of it's weeded and covered. And I think next year we'll get quite a few currants, red currants, black currants and white currants from all of these bushes. Because you can see the ones on the left there, there was very little this year because they were only 2-year-old bushes, but they're thickening up nicely now. So that's the fruit cage, all mulched with hops. I've just put some hops into the potato bed. I'll show you that now. Hi, so this is the potato bed as was. If you remember, we had first and second earlers in this bed this year. I've got a 4-year rotation going on this allotment. This is the second plot. Potatoes this year, and next year it'll be receiving the sprouts and probably half a dozen rows of onions as well, or maybe some other brassicas, but basically that's designated as a brassica bed. That'll move up one to here, and the potato bed will then be over here where we've got the leeks and the beans. That's the legume bed. Leeks attacked on the end there because they can go anywhere, but everything moves around every year anyway. So if you remember on the last upload, this was just full of big mounds of earth and trenches because we dig underneath the potatoes to get them out, because we plant them quite deeply, possibly too deeply. So I levelled this off earlier today and then raked it. I've gone around the edge of the path, taken all the dock leaves and weeds out, and I've just been, as I say, I've just been and collected some more hops, spent hops, and I've emptied 6 sacks onto this first. It's not quite a half, about 40% of the bed, and I've lightly forked it in. And spent hops are supposed to be a particularly good mulch and additive, if you will, for brassicas. They're quite mild, they help to make your soil more friable. It's just had potatoes in, so it's very, very loose is the soil, but there is some clay in there as well. It's quite a rich soil, and hopefully over time the addition of hops, spent hops, will help to make it a really, really nice soil that we've got there. I've already put it on the brassica bed on the third allotment, but I get between 1 and 2 sacks a week, so every month I get about 6 sacks or so. So hopefully by the end of October this bed will be covered. We'll probably also give it a light covering of manure as well, and then it'll all get dug in at the start of next year. Last year we dug everything prior to Christmas, but it rained so heavily and consistently over the winter that the soil level sunk about 4 inch and everything was compacted, and it all had to be dug and aerated again. So this year I'm aiming not to do that. We'll weed, make sure the soil's clean, and then the beds that need it will get maybe a 2 or 3 inch cover of horse manure. Well rotted horse manure. So that's the potato bed, getting ready for next year, as I say, for the brassicas. Thursday the 6th of October. It's a windy afternoon, late afternoon today, and I thought I'd just pop down and pick some beans, because I think the last broad drill of beans that were sown towards the end of July, I think it's time to take some off. They've not cropped very heavily, but then they were covered by the cloche for a long time, and I don't know whether that may have hindered pollination a little bit. But I've taken some off already. I've just got a little bag full there, and they're a mixture of I don't know what the varieties are because my cousin put them in my absence, but there's one that's slightly mottled, slight purple mottling. You can see it a little bit better on that one, and then a straight green one, and you can see them there. They're just starting to come, but it's quite a big drill, so hopefully we'll get a few pounds off. It's a bonus really at this time into October to have any fresh beans really, so we're going to enjoy these while they last. Hope you've still got beans as well and that you're enjoying yours. Alright, catch you later. Hi folks, Saturday 8th of October, and these are the last tomatoes out of the small greenhouse on the allotment. I'm not going to show you the inside of the greenhouse, it looks a little bit sorry for itself at the moment. Plants are still growing, but the tomatoes that are left on, the black cherries and some of the others, that they really don't taste very good at all. Taste rancid really. Got to spit a few out. But ever the optimist. You know, I like to get off the plants wherever I can. And I've taken 3 green zebra here. I've taken 2 or 3 Paul Robeson. I think that's a country taste. That's out of the big greenhouse actually. That's a Radiator Charlie's mortgage lifter. And the 2 reliable cherries, Sun Gold, they still taste really good. And Zakura, which is an F1 as well, and they still taste really good. These are really great because they'll stay on the truss. It can be a really long truss, and if you don't get around to picking them, they still taste good. You know, like weeks and weeks later. And I've just taken these off and eaten some of both of those, and they still taste good. Still miles better than what you would buy in the supermarket. So it's the 8th of October. So we've not done bad down here on the allotment as well. I've still got about a dozen beefsteak ripening in the large greenhouse, and they're the bicoloured orange hillbilly tomato, and I'm trying to think, there might be another Radiator Charlie or 2 like that one there with a pink blush. You can see they're not completely ripened, but they'll ripen up in the kitchen at home. So that's the tomatoes done just about on the allotment as well. Still Saturday the 8th, and I started off picking the tomatoes, which you just saw, and I've just turned over half of the 2 beds at the bottom of the second allotment. That's the small greenhouse there at the top, and I've turned it over. They were quite compacted, the bottom of these 2 beds, but I've dug them over, taken rubbish and weeds and large stones out, as you do each time you turn your beds. Managed to salvage another 8 or 9 slabs, and they've gone down at the bottom of this bed. Gratefully received from a neighbour of my cousin. So we're getting on with the tidying up. Everything that's there, apart from the dried out beans and the dried out peas, will stay. So we've got turnips, parsnips, leeks and Brussels sprouts. We've still got some beans growing at the top, dwarf beans. We've done some digging on the other allotment as well, I'll show you that. This is the 3rd allotment. The soil's just been roughly chopped and turned over. It'll have manure on it and it'll be redug in the new year. You can see the dailies are still doing alright. We've not had any frost yet, although this last 2 or 3 days we've had 6 and 7 degrees in the morning. We've had a bit of a chill. but they're okay, and I'm going to cut some of those in a moment. I'm also going to make my way around the raspberries because I think this will be the last picking, but there are still some that taste good. I've had a few ones that are just ripening, and then they'll be finished. So I think this will be the last punnet of raspberries for this season. You can see over on the first allotment with the barn, I need to trim that grass and cut the grass again, and then hopefully over the next couple of weeks I'm going to start in earnest and get some raised beds built, and hopefully the first plot will take on some kind of shape. But it's still a nice day today. It's cool, but it's ideal for digging. A little bit more digging and weeding to do tomorrow on Sunday, and then possibly maybe next weekend as well. A little bit more tidying, taking out the sunflowers, some of the beans. But the second bean frame, that's still growing strong. Take a look at that now. Little bit more digging being done where the flowers were. I think that's where the daisies were actually, and the asters. Taking the last pickings off the rhubarb as well. That'll be left to die back now. Still plenty of beetroot, and you can see there in the distance the overwintering onions that I put in about 2 weeks ago. They've really come on. They're about 8-inch high now. 4 short rows of Electra, I think they are, red onions, and 4 short rows of the Century white overwintering onion. Despite the fact that I cleared out the strawberries, that because the weather's been mildish, they're still throwing out runners, so I need to tidy those up as well. Going to take a look at the bean frame now. And that's the second bean frame. Excuse me. I think this was planted round about the middle of June. So we did the first bean frame in the middle of May, then this one in the middle of June. And next year, if we have a third bean frame, then we'll probably plant another row, maybe at the start of July. Already taken probably, I don't know, about, I would say quite easily 9 or 10 kilos off this, and they're still growing on. So I might pick a few of these today as well, or I might leave it until tomorrow. But you can see they're a nice size to take. They're a nice sweet bean. There's plenty on, and plenty of tiny ones as well that are coming, yet to come. There's an odd blue bean in there as well. But, I think we'll be eating beans for another couple of weeks. To the back of me, that was the bed that had the main crop potatoes, the Picasso and King Edwards. I've got to tidy around the edge of that to get rid of the nettles all the way around. Probably do that tomorrow. So things to do, but there are still things. You see quite a few weeds here. Still things to pick, including flowers. There's still plenty on there that can be picked, I think. Hopefully the frost will stay away, the weather will be kind to us. Because these look really nice in a vase. You don't need many either, you only need about half a dozen, and they look stunning. So many nice colours in this. Vibrant reds, purples, beautiful delicate pinks. Quite a few of the cacti variety as well. Starting to fade a little bit, some of them, the colours, but still putting on a show, still holding their own. So we'll continue to enjoy them for as long as they're here. So that's it for this update. Only a short one, I think. Plenty to do. We're still picking things. Beetroot. We've started on the winter crops as well. Brussels sprouts, parsnips. Been taking carrots, the sweet candle, out of the bath as well. And I'm going to cut some flowers now. Well, that's it for this update. It's the end of the day now on Saturday. Light's beginning to fade. So I've got my beefsteak tomatoes, my cherry tomatoes. I've just picked a nice bag of climbing beans. The last raspberries, we'll be having those after tea tonight. And some nice flowers for my lady wife. I'm sure she'll appreciate those. So motto of the day really is never leave empty-handed. I try not to anyway, because that's what it's all about. Going home with a couple of bags full of your own organically grown fruit and veg, and some flowers on the side as a bonus. So have a great week. Thanks for watching again, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.